2006, Ant and Dec, PJ and Duncan as I know them, made a really funny film called Alien Autopsy. So inspired by that, I thought I'd do a little film entitled Alternator Autospy. So hang on, what are we doing? Right, so I've taken the alternator apart and let's see what we found. So took the back off, and the first thing I saw on this regulator pack was Quinton Hazel, and it looks quite new. So I thought, well, hang on a minute, that's not as dirty as the rest of it. And then I remembered we had this old injury on the back of the casing where it had melted, so I'd imagine at some point that's failed and that has been put on as an aftermarket regulator, because this one has Lucas on it, so this is the genuine article. So I don't really know what I'm looking at here, but this is the slip ring. Whether that's in good condition or bad condition, I don't know. The bearings are all right in it. Oh, I don't know, there's a bit of play in that. There is a bit of play in that. Now apparently if the spindle's allowed to come backwards and forwards, it moves this slip ring backwards and forwards and takes the pressure on and off the brushes that go on the back, which isn't a good thing. The rectifier, I don't know if you can see that, there's rust and crud on the diodes, but the power runs through them, not over them, so that's not necessarily an indication that they've failed. Off was that this wire was off. Now I don't know if that broke, actually it looks a bit grubby as well, I don't know if that broke when I took the casing off at the back, or I broke it as I was undoing this, but either way it shouldn't break that easily. There's the fast on there that it's supposed to go on, so that's also a bit of a possible cause of its failure. Now according to the book, let me get this out now. According to the book, the brushes are supposed to be new, 13mm long, and the reject size on them is meant to be 8mm. So let's see if I can find them. Right, this is the one that runs in the centre of the slip ring. We'll measure this one. So reject size was 8mm. That one's 10mm, so that one's all right, but it does have a funny shape, one on the end, but it's running on a flat surface, so that's a bit curious. It's not actually running quite on centre like when you look at the middle there, so that's probably why. Right, the next brush, which is the one that runs on the outside of the slip ring, which so it's the one that covers the most distance, as it were. That's below the specified length in the manual, so that's not helping, given the fact that also the bearing has some play in it, so that takes it down by another millimetre, so that is also another possible cause of its failure. So I have three options available to me now. One is recondition the unit I've got, but it's probably going to cost me just as much to buy Far Eastern made alternator, or I can buy a fancy European made one from Italy, which is probably twice the price. I think I'm probably going to go for the Far East option and just change it if it's not right, or get this one reconditioned. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Find out in a later film. Bye! Oh, this is Grimelkin, by the way, and that's Spode.